Have you ever heard this one? The United States isn't a country, it's a corporation. It was sold out in 1871 by a secret act of Congress. Yeah, that one. Let's talk about it. The claim goes something like this. In 1871, Congress passed the District of Columbia Organic Act, and suddenly, America went from being a constitutional republic to a for profit company owned by foreign bakers and hidden elites. Every president since then, a CEO. Every law, a contract. Every citizen, an employee. Cue the dramatic music and pyramid eye visuals. But here's the thing, it's complete nonsense. Let's start with the actual District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871. Yes, it's real. Congress passed it, but all it did was consolidate Washington, Georgetown, and the surrounding county areas into one municipal government for District of Columbia. That's it. It made DC function like a city, like every other major city in the United States. The law even says, and I quote, that the District of Columbia shall remain and continue a municipal corporation. Municipal, not multinational, not malevolent, and not a Marvel villain.
The hardest choices require the strongest will.
Now, what's a municipal corporation? It's just a fancy legal way of saying city government. Black's Law Dictionary defines it as a political subdivision of a state, constituted by law and vested with the powers to regulate and govern a locality. In other words, it manages trash pickup, snow plows, and traffic lights. It's not an international power structure. Apparently, DC creating a city council is the smoking gun that America was overthrown. This myth mostly circulates through sovereign citizen circles, anti-tax groups, and social media echo chambers that rely on generous reinterpretations of legal language. One favorite amongst them is the idea that if the US is a corporation, then its citizens are employees, and laws or contracts you have to consent to.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby!
It sounds empowering until you try it in real life, like in court, where you'll lose every single time. Courts have repeatedly shut this down. In US versus Jagum in 1992, the court called these arguments completely without merit. In the United States versus Washington 2014, the court flat out labeled them frivolous. There's no credible court decision ever that affirms the US is a private company, because it's not. Let's hit this from another angle. If the United States were an actual private corporation, it would have articles of incorporation filed under state law. It would issue shares and dividends, and it would have a board of directors. Instead, we have a constitution, we have checks and balances, and we hold elections every 2 years. If this were a corporation, it's the only one in the world where employees get to fire the CEO.
No, I cannot be fired. I'm fired.
And that thing about the US being listed on Dun & Bradstreet, total red herring. Government agencies sometimes have DUNS numbers for procurement. It's a logistics system, not a stock market listing. That's like saying the DMV is a Fortune 500 company because it has a barcode scanner. And no, your name in all caps on legal forms doesn't mean you're a corporate entity. That's just how forms are formatted. Now let's get into some real talk, because I get why these theories catch fire. People are angry, they're disillusioned. They see a system that favors the powerful and screws over the working folks, and they're not wrong to feel betrayed. But blaming it on the misunderstanding of a municipal charter from 1871, that's not revolution, that's redirection. The system might feel rigged, but it wasn't because Congress filed the wrong paperwork 150 years ago. It's rigged because too many of us have stopped paying attention, stopped organizing, and stopped holding the people in power accountable. If you want real change, it doesn't come from some obscure legal filings or declaring yourself a sovereign soul. It comes from truth. It comes from civic power, from showing up. So ditch the fantasy, pick up the facts, because liberty isn't found on legal loopholes. It's built through knowledge, action, and relentless pressure. Next episode, Those gold fringed flags in courtrooms, did they mean you're being tried in maritime law, or are they just decorative flags? Spoiler, it's the second one.